Welcome back to Fox and Friends. Wokeness is in session. A review by the Do No Harm Medical Professionals Association found that top medical schools are screening applicants for their social justice views before they can even walk in the door, asking our nation's future doctors to prove they're woke or risk getting rejected. Registered nurse and Do No Harm program manager Laura Morgan authored the report, and she joins us now. Laura, I'm so fascinated by this because I've been seeing this. We've been interviewing professors here on Fox and Friends who have been sidelined because they actually said male and female and they were turned in by their students. So this is happening at the application level. What are the dangers of having an ideological litmus test like this in a medical school?
Well, good morning, Rachel, and thank you for having me. And you're right, this is infecting all areas of medical schools, and we're finding that even the top medical schools are asking questions of their applicants to help gauge their acceptance of ideologies like critical race theory or health equity or anti-racism. And this is bad for medicine because this can increase the amount of distrust between consumers and the healthcare industry, and it certainly diminishes the quality of education when the focus is on things that have nothing to do with medicine.
So I'm going to put up a list here of some of the top medical schools, woke medical schools: Harvard Medical School, Johns Hopkins, the University of California, San Francisco, Columbia. You see all those. But it's not just these, top tier, woke schools of medicine. I'm going to put up a question here by the University of Miami Medical School. Here's an example of what they ask. What have you done to help identify, address, and correct an issue of systemic discrimination? What happens when this is part of the application process?
Well, the interview prompts are intended to gauge an applicant's acceptance of the school's ideas and health equity efforts or a commitment to anti-racism or other woke policies, and they want to know how the applicant will contribute to those ideas. So this sets the stage for an early indoctrination before medical students ever see a patient, and the goal is to weed out those that don't agree with divisive ideologies.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we love about doctors, sometimes it was frustrating to me during COVID, was how apolitical they were. I wish they would have weighed in a little bit more on some of the politicization of COVID. But it's because they love medicine and they don't want to get involved in politics. They just want to do their job. But now we're going to be recruiting a whole new generation that does this. Another thing, Laura, is that some of the standards were already being dropped because there was an obsession already in medical schools with diversity, which was lowering standards.
That's correct. And in the secondary interview questions that are in the report, some of the schools are pretty blunt about it because they assume that the students already buy into these concepts. And so some will even ask directly, what group do you identify with, and how will your experiences as a member of this group contribute to the DEI standard at our school? And those are things that just don't have anything to do with taking care of your medical problem.
So, Laura, what is your group and what can America do to make sure that our medical profession doesn't get infected by wokeness and we can keep it based on science and good health outcomes?
Absolutely. Well, Do No Harm is a network of key stakeholders who want to protect medicine from these divisive ideologies that have been telling them how the system is structurally racist and must be transformed. And so Do No Harm is here to push back against those problematic ideologies, and we want to hear from those who have concerns about medical wokeness in their workplace or school or where they're getting their medical care, and they can do so by visiting donoharmmedicine.org.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's time for doctors to get a little politically involved if they want to keep politics out of medicine and out of these medical schools and the recruitment of our future doctors. Laura, so great having you on. Thanks for doing the work you're doing and shining a light on this very important issue.
Thank you, and have a great Labor Day.
You too.